So we had a bit of a funny morning the other morning. We went to the show, went to Midlands Machinery Show. I probably showed you that already. The next morning we all come to work, you know, and it was a bit of a bizarre morning. I noticed this trailer, it's our Chieftain trailer. Really like this trailer, really well made, very strong metal. That's what we use to tow the digger around with. But while we were seeding, I went up to collect some seed from the Agri Seeds, and on the way back I noticed it was crabbing a bit, and I thought, well, that's a little bit weird. So I mentioned it to Peter, and on further inspection we had where is it? This side. So you can see in here one of the big bolts that hold the hang on, we've got to get under. One of the big bolts there that hold the spring to the chassis had sheared off, and that was why it was crabbing. So it was a good job we never put the digger on, loaded the digger back on, because what we could have ended up doing is some serious damage under there. So we that was a good little spot. It's hard to stay on top of all these different things, but yeah, I learned a bit of a lesson there. If you notice something amiss, get out and check it straight away, because yeah, there's obviously, and luckily enough, yeah, we spotted it early, and hasn't damaged anything else. And now Peter's put the bolt back in, everything crabs, so everything tracks straight and true. Yeah, so Peter was fixing this, then the farmer took Rescue One, had only come back for a day and has suddenly developed another problem, which is a bit frustrating. He loaded the trailer on. We were going to go and do some private work up at one of the farms. We're just digging off a pad up there for some concrete, but he got up there, he was going to drop the trailer off, bring the tractor back, and me and Pete were going to go up there and start work up there, but couldn't release the trailer. So so he was stuck up there. Something's happened with the electronics of the spools. It won't let unlock the spools. We'll have a look at it when we're next up there. It won't unlock the spools, it won't lift the arms up and down. It well, yeah, bizarre. We've gone through the fuse, it's not fused, so it might have to go back into the guys at Chandler's and for them to have another look at. But yeah, bit of a weird one. We haven't had a real chance, because it's not at the farm, we haven't had a real chance to go through it and see what's going on there. But yeah, we can still use it, we can still tip, and we can still thing. So we're using it at the minute, but once it gets back to the farm, we've got to have it looked at by the Chandler's guys again, who will, I imagine, they'll get it sorted. But bit of an annoying thing there. The Keithy's 8S has gone back. They're going to have a look at the brakes, they will get that sorted. Yeah, then young Charlie was filling up her tractor, getting that ready, the flail mower, and that had the fuel tanks at the back, and we've had it about 4 times this year. You take the cap off, you put the cap on the mud guard, you fill her up, you put the filler back, and you forget the cap. She went off, the cap fell on the floor, then Peter came around the corner, didn't see the cap, ran the cap over. Yeah, so new cap coming for that. We've got to get some sort of cap retainer, like a spring. I think the farmer said they come with a Y spring. We've got to get that sorted out, because that's just too easy to forget those. We're going to go up to Alistair's, have a look at the wheat up there, see how that's coming. So we went to the Midlands Machinery Show, we saw a few familiar faces over there, and we met some of the fans. That was really cool. Yeah, I just want to say about that, if you see us out at these shows and you want to come and say hi, don't be shy, come and say hello, we won't bite. It's really nice to actually meet some of you guys. Bit strange people coming up to you knowing who you are. I won't ever get used to that, I don't think, but it was really nice. So at the end there we met Nick and his dad from Nick's farm. Really nice guys. Just exactly how they are on their channel. Make sure you go and check them out, because yeah, they got a nice, easy watching channel over there. Nick works really hard on his videos, as we all do. You know, it takes a long time to make these videos, but yeah, Nick does a great job. And there is something in the works. We're having a little bit of a chat, so Nick may end up coming here, or we'll go to Nick's and have a look. And yeah, we're going to do some sort of collaboration before we all get too busy again and we can't do anything. But yeah, so make sure you stay tuned for that one, because that would be pretty cool. Yeah, farmer went up, we fixed the roof. So the roof of the barn there, where it was ever so windy the other day, farmer, you got to know what you're doing when you go on the roof. So none of us go up, the farmer goes up on his own, and yeah, he got some new panels up there, everything's mended. It was literally just the very top where the two roofs joined together, and luckily enough, we'd already taken hay out of there, so nothing got wet, nothing got damaged, and that's the main thing. We got a few panels, farmer put the panels up, job done, fixed. We're thinking we might leave the cows out another week yet because they're just so much better off outside. We don't need to bring them in as such, so they may end up staying out another week, but most of the yard is ready. Me and Peter went through that. Peter been doing some welding on some of the brackets. Me and the old man didn't quite have the corner set right on the on the outside pen there, but we got it all sorted in the end. So I thought I'd just quickly show you this. We're actually back down outside the front of the farm here, and last winter Peter came down and we were cleaning out the ditch and we wanted to make the culverts a bit bigger, but what we used was, well, I'll show you what we used because it's right here, but didn't quite work as we planned. We stacked 4 of these pipes. These are only 9-inch pipes, I think. We stacked 4 of them on top of each other, hoping that it might shift the water, but as it turned out, they're not big enough, so it was holding everything up. Nothing was flowing through. So what we've had to do is do the job properly and get a big enough pipe to start with. I'm probably going to fall in here, but yeah, as you can see there's a, I don't know what size that is, 300 or something like that. I heard them say might even be bigger than that. They might be 450s, but a little bit annoying that we had to come back and have another go at it, but we had the pipe anyway. So what we wanted to use was we had the pipe, we wanted to try and use it somewhere, and it seemed to the idea seemed great, but it didn't actually work out like that. It's ever so dry at the minute, so there's no water, actually not much water coming through. So we just walk out on the ploughing here because Peter ploughed all these ones, and just underfoot I can already feel the weather is doing its job. And let's just watch. So that's what we're after. We're after the weather to do most of the work out here, but farmer's a little bit concerned. He wants to come out and spray. You know, if we get a sharp enough frost and it'll carry a tractor, we may end up coming out and try and knocking some of this down so it's a bit more level. That might change, but the weather is doing a job out here. You can see everything just crumble. That's what we're after. Just crumble the top, and by the time it comes to spring, you've only got to tiggle it. You haven't got to do too much to it. You can just see it under my feet. The moment you stand on it, it breaks apart. Look. See it all crumble apart. But the front field there is, these aren't too, well, I say they aren't too bad. They are pretty much clay, but the one out the front there is, you know, it was very, very slabby. So that's going to take a little bit more doing. The weather is doing its work, and that's what we wanted. Yeah, it's a bit wet underfoot right here, which is probably why there ain't much seed coming up here. So this is a field that was destined for grass actually, but I don't know what happened. So I don't know what the reason was, but so, there was a bit of a change of plan, and we planted wheat here. Now in the main, you can see the tinge of green across the whole field. That doesn't look too bad, but on this headland, and I can see where you can see on the top, it's shiny, it's wet, it's you can hear it underfoot, it's ever so wet. So it doesn't look too good around the headland here. I do want to just get across everything else and have a look and make sure there aren't any more hiccups, because we hadn't spotted the drill problem with the metering system, which is now fixed. But yeah, in the main of the field there, that doesn't look too bad. There are still patches, and the farmer did tell me, he said when I got here, Peter said this one drilled the best. It was dry at the time, but 2 inches of rain and look what it does. It's swamped it out a bit. I've got absolute mud blocks on my feet now. I think the best thing to do is get drone up in the air and see what we got really. The drone won't lie. I've got a plane in the sky I can hear. Look at this, it's going to do a loop-a-loop. Can you see him? Oh my god. Oh, it's coming down backwards. Here he comes. These are this field here. They're not massive fields, and the one just behind me there where the truck is, they're the lowest on this farm, and the farmer did tell me these are always prone to get wet. So yeah, it's just a shame, because when Peter drilled this, it was onion bed. We've been tiddling the top because we were going to put it in grass, so we've got a really nice fine seedbed on it, and then there was a change of plan and it went into wheat. But let's see what happens, let's see what it does. It may be that we have to come back and do the headlands with spring wheat or something like that, I don't know.
You know I want you close, maybe hold your hand a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up calling my own. We ride around in style, sleeves rolled up, glasses on, and then you make that smile and my heart starts racing when I'm with you. When I'm with you. Can't get enough of this, being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. How could I ever let you go now when you're looking like that? Can't get enough of this, being with you is a never-ending sunshine. You got your high heels on.
We're actually now at the same spot we were the other week when I said the rain had rained us off. So we're gonna go and have a little walk out in here, but it doesn't look too bad. We didn't manage to get anything rolled. Where it is wet in the corners, you won't be able to fix that. That will be thin there, and that's the end of that. But once it gets, farmer says, once it gets to this sort of size, it can actually withstand the weather a little bit more. I imagine all this that screen is going to be perfectly fine. We're just, you can still see the line clear as day where we finished up, and looking down at it, couldn't see it very well from the drone, but as I come down close, I'll show you. The seeds are there. There's a little bit of damage there, I don't know what that will be. But it is, everything is just underground. Yeah, still chitting that. See, that one's about to come out. There's a worm there, there's our mate. Yeah, so we are still a little bit early because it was 2 weeks after this got drilled, but since then we've had a frost and we've had rain, and yeah, so it's going to be a little bit behind now, but everything's there and everything's chitting. So, and I can see a tinge of green across everything here, so it won't be too bad. Actually quite pleased with how that looks. Ideally we'd like to have got it rolled, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. You can see the field in the background now. That looks a lot better from this angle. It's sometimes the way you look at the crop. If you look into the, I think if you look into the sun against the crop, it always looks better than looking the other way. But I can see a hint of green across the whole of the thing there. It doesn't look too bad. There doesn't seem to be any patches. We just have to wait and see. I think we're a little bit too early to decide things there, but everything seems to be growing at least. I think they've had way more rain than we have, because it's ever so wet up here. It feels wetter than it is back at home, but I don't know, I might be wrong. I'm just going to walk out on one of the other fields over here and just make sure there's things there. This one's a little bit more clayey, this one, but you can see in the ground here, it's a job to see it. It's only just coming through the ground, so we're a little bit early really. We'll have to come back in a week or two time. Once the frost hits and the temperature in the soil goes down, the farmer tells me it just yeah, it takes a long time for it to come through. But what we want it to do is get to about this sort of size, and it can withstand the weather a little bit more, so we don't have to worry so much. But I can see with my eyes there's a green tinge all the way over. It's ever so slight, you won't see it on the camera much, But yeah, you get your eye in. You have to get your eye in close, and you can see all the seeds coming up. They're all around. You can see them all. You see them? So we're just a little bit early to yeah, and the fact that it hasn't been rolled as well, it's a little bit more difficult because you've got the knobbles there. And I think, you know, they may even roll this in the spring. I don't know, I can't remember. Sometimes they roll it in the spring, and depends what the weather does. But we've got 2 more fields that side. I'm going to drive over those next, and I'm going to go and check my tractor out and see if I can find a fuse that's been blown. I'll show you the problem with that. Yeah, the wheat doesn't, I don't think it looks too bad, if I'm honest. I think we did a good job getting that in when we did, because you wouldn't have done it now. There's no chance. It's far too wet now. Some of the neighbours' sheep doing a grand job. This is what we love. We love, in the winter, we'll have the sheep on the grass. They do the best job out of anything. They keep the grass down tight. What they do is they poo on the field, which is natural fertilizer. So in the springtime, then we come with the harrows, get everything rolled down nice and flat, and it's just a perfect job. It's a win-win. You wouldn't have it any other way. These people that say beef and living animals are farting, killing the planets, need to be shot. It's just madness. The people thinking cows, oh my god. What they need to look at, the environmental people, start at the top. These massive gigantic boats, one of those boats, the container ships, creates more emissions than Britain's cars. I think it's all of Britain's car in a year. One of those container ships creates in one day. So maybe start at the top before you start looking at animals farting in field. The fact that all the cows eat grass, you know, cows are carbon free. It's just ridiculous. I won't have it. We'll talk about that on another thing. If you want to learn more about that, go to Harry's farm and look on there. He explains it brilliant on there. But the cows eat the grass. The cows then poo out the grass. We fertilize the grass. The cows are their own, you know, grass-fed cows are free from emissions. They're not the issue. The biggest issues are with the, you know, it's the fossil fuels. That's the only thing they need to look at really when it comes to carbon neutral and all the rest of that. And the way forward is hydrogen. You can see it with JCB. Check out their stuff on hydrogen, because to me it's a no-brainer. It's easy to make. You can use it. You can have the solar farms creating the electricity, so that's green. Obviously they make the hydrogen out of water, salt water and electricity. Then we can use that in the car, and all that comes out the end product is water. So, you know, if the world really wants to be green, it's right there. It's very easy. But yeah, all this stupid stuff on cows farting creating problem for the world is just absolutely ridiculous. I won't say it again. I'm not going to get into all that, but we're here for this. Right, so Rescue 1 is back, but it's only been back a day and we got more problems. So they took it in to repair the compressor manifold, which they have done. Apparently the update was they put a new timing cover in there because that was all damaged, and it is on there sturdy, nothing slipping, so it's a good job. But the update was only stronger bolts, so whether that lasts or not we don't know, but everything's back on there properly as it should be. One thing we would have probably liked, pipe there is still, that must only be paper thin. So it would have been nice for them to replace that pipe, but it's not leaking, it's not causing an issue yet. If I was doing that job, I would have put a new pipe there, because you know it's going to cause issues somewhere down the line. Peter put the rubber bit on. Peter put that bit there. And it was just to stop it rubbing any further. You know, but that bit's all working now. But farmer got up here the other day. I hope you can hear me all right. And when you start the tractor up, they always lock the spools. The hydraulic spools, you just simply hit the button and it unlocks them. But as you can see, it's not unlocking the spools, and you have to wake your hydraulic arms by double tapping the end button here, and they would flash and come alive, and that's not working either. So at the minute we can't actually drop the trailer off. The back buttons don't work either. So the guys at Chandler's have told us they would have came out to us, but we wanted to use it on the day. But they will get it sorted if we can't find it. In here, this compartment here, I am just going to, every little fuse in here, the ones I can get at, I am going to pull out one by one, check every single fuse, because they did say it could be just as simple as a fuse gone. So I'm going to turn the tractor off before I do it, obviously, and check all the fuses, see what's what. But if not, it's got to go back to Chandler's and they'll have a further look at that. But super annoying. Yeah, the other problem was the suspension had gone rock hard, so we had a new globe under here. These are very high pressured they pressurize the system. I don't know how it works, but crazy pressures in there. So this one apparently wasn't no good, and these two were low, and why they were low I have no idea. But the guy did come out and repressurize the globes. So, and I did test it the other day, and it does work as it should now. It's nice and comfortable. Me and Peter are doing some work up here. We're laying a pad down for we're going to lay some concrete down, so we've got some hardcore here. We're going to be moving some dirt and stuff. Might show you that on the next video. So I'm going to pull them fuses out and see if we can figure out what the problem is. If I find it, I'll show you, but if I don't, that's where we're going to leave it. This video is probably way longer than it needed to be. So I'm just literally looking against the light. Let me see if you can see that. Hope you can see that. You can see the line that comes across, and if there's a break in that line, then that means that fuse is done. But I'm literally simply pulling them out and putting them back. And I've had it before. We've checked everything to do with the ECU for the arms and the spools, but I've seen it before where on my car the radio fuse had gone, but it was the air conditioning fuse that had stopped it. So I'm just going to pull everything and have a look at everything. I've got a little tool here, a little fuse puller. It just makes it a little bit easier to get them out like that. Have a look. Good. Put it back. Don't get too many out at once. Don't get any more than one out at once, because you will forget where it goes. Don't know if you can see it very well. Put it against the bonnet there, but that is a 5 amp fuse, and that one is blown. So I have got some mini fuses here, and that is going back in because that should not be broken. Whether that's our problem, I don't know, but let's just have a little look here. No, whatever that was, it was for something else. Right, that's a little bit annoying. That's a little bit odd. I thought that was going to fix that. I'm a bit gutted. Right, that means we've probably got something a little bit more serious, or something I don't know about. Bit weird that one being out, but there we go. Right, that's it. That's all I've got for you. We'll see you on the next one.